Your mission, should you choose to accept, is to watch the greatest podcast known to man. Welcome back to another episode of Cinestro Course. Your boy Blacksby. Today we're talking about the very obvious, now playing in theaters, Mission Impossible 8, Final Reckoning, the Dead Reckoning, to Wreck to Aning, whatever we're calling it now. I don't know what the theme is. Go ahead and run that song, man. We ain't worried about it.
Cinestro of the gas, it's your weekly gold mine. Stay tuned in, stay tuned in. They got me the beats, got those comic spins. I stay tuned in, stay tuned.
You're saying run that shit? You're saying run that shit like it's not you playing it is so funny to me.
I'm not the one playing it. That's not me.
Oh, it's
Frank.
Frank.
It's our production team.
Mhm.
Our new and improved Frank the Third.
Our unpaid child labor team, production team.
Whoa.
Yep.
We do that here.
Partner with Steve for every
The
episode.
Lilo and Stitch movie.
It's okay. We've outsourced it to China, so it's legal.
Exactly.
Speaking of China, that's one of the 8 nations involved in the missile launch scene in Mission.
Nah. Ooh, alley-oop, baby.
And talking about Mission
Insane.
Impossible, let's start from the very top. I know
Hold
we're
on,
talking
hold
about the last
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Quick
But let's start.
synopsis.
Wait, yeah. Can I give the synopsis? I got
Yeah,
this.
make it
Go
quick.
ahead.
Make it quick.
This is Ethan Hunt that you see on the screen right now. For audio listeners, that's Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is back, baby. He's 6 years old. And when we last left off, he was fighting Cleverbot, aka the entity, and trying to find out the keys so then that way he can prevent global nuclear annihilation. It's a race against the clock, and once again, he and the rest of the Mission Impossible team have to go rogue in order to defeat this entity and save the world. That's it. I'm
Yep.
giving you the synopsis. Now,
Yep.
you guys like how concise that was? You like how fast I told you that one time? Imagine if the movie told you that 17 fucking times. Back to goddamn back. Holy fucking shit. I can't even do it, dude.
Talk about it.
Listen, this movie is 3 hours long, right? It is 2 hours.
Like 240, no?
240.
Which is basically 3 hours of movie time.
Movie time.
The amount I felt like this movie and its plot was being mailed to me with how many times it would just take a break to be like, the entity it's spreading misinformation. You have to know the AI. We have to talk about the entity.
I don't know if
because
it suffered from. I think it did suffer from like rewrites and the fact that it was supposed to be one movie, but then they ended up making it 2. But it just feels like you can really tell, dude. It just seems like.
Oh yeah.
First of all, I think it's very important to know how these movies are made. Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise think up the action set pieces. They think up the action set pieces first, and then write a story around it.
The Marvel approach kind of thing.
And that has become incredibly apparent, incredibly obvious in these last 2 movies. The action set pieces are pretty good. The rest sucks. It's not good. The script is dog shit. The what's it called?
I like that guy with the mustache. He was really good.
What
That really sexually charged submarine that they were on.
Oh, yeah. That's the guy from Severance.
I don't know what that is.
Tremel.
That's my boy Milkshake.
Yeah, Milkshake. He's awesome. No, but I just think it's very apparent that they work that way because the action set pieces were good or to great, but the rest of the stories the rest of the script and stories surrounding those set pieces, I think were subpar and kind of bad and boring. Right, a lot of what we talked about in the group chat, and I think we all agree that a lot of the conversations or a lot of what moves this plot is just exposition. I mean, AZ said it right off the rip. They explained to you 17 times what the plan is, what the story is, what the entity is. And it's like, okay, I get it. I watched the last movie. You recap the entirety of the first movie in the first 30 minutes of this movie, and then you still keep mentioning it every time you get it's every chance you get. It's like, what are we doing?
And on top of that,
they should have taken the Infinity War or Endgame approach. Just start right into the shit. Don't tell nobody nothing. Get right to it. Like with Mission Impossible, at this point, if you've seen like the first 3 films, it's pretty much, Tom Cruise running around some random
And
country,
Mission Impossible.
bombs going off. You got to deactivate the bomb. Villain is holding some woman hostage. This, that, and the other. It's the same kind of format, but it works the first 6 films because it's all well-written stories all around for the most part. You get to film number 7, and like you said, it was hit with the writer strikes are going on. Yes, pay writers, and pay everybody involved what they deserve. COVID was going on. The film industry was in disarray. Tom Cruise pushed to make Top Gun happen. Make, of course, this one eventually get off the ground. I think this film was hit with enough setbacks to affect the quality enough, And Mission Impossible, excuse me, Mission Impossible, especially with a film like leading off with Fallout, how great Fallout was, and how they could have just ended the franchise there. If you want to continue, you got to do something bigger than that. And I think it missed the mark with Dead Reckoning, and it missed the mark for sure with Final Reckoning. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they.
I hope it truly is the end of it, and if they decide to reboot this franchise, is with someone who's not Tom Cruise, and that him and Christopher McQuarrie aren't involved. Because I think this franchise, especially in today's day and age, which is so IP driven, I think this franchise is like ripe for pretty great storytelling and pretty good films. Like you said, it's formulaic, but it's a formula that works. You know what you're getting, right? And it's kind of hard to fuck that up, right? But I think if injected with new blood, new lifeblood, I think they could deliver something great here.
They're running into the Fast and Furious problem.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad. I would say
how many bomb defusals were there in this fucking movie?
How many
like
what?
3.
Bomb defusals, like the same
2?
fucking problem yet.
that's another thing.
That's what I'm saying.
It feels like the movie is very.
They're doing the same thing over and over.
It's been
Except Fast and
years
Furious
over and fucking over again,
excessive.
and it's insufferable. It's excessive. It just feels nonsensical for this movie to be nearly like 3 hours. And yet I'm seeing the same thing over and over again. That opening monologue that Tom Cruise has, where he's like, "Thanks for watching my movie. You're about to see Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning." If I played that on a loop for 2 hours and 40 minutes, it would feel like watching this movie.
Yeah.
Because it would be explaining what I'm seeing over and over again. And I was just losing it. I feel like it's just a film that could have definitely been much shorter than it was, because people repeatedly taking those breaks to tell us things we already know. Some of the action also would be really, really rushed out of nowhere, and then it would drag or do this really quick exposition scene. It would just be so inconsistent with its pacing to where it couldn't seem to justify its
I was
own
going to say
existence as a movie.
I was going to say the ends do not justify the means, and I think
At all.
to piggyback off what you said, the action, right? It's like that's what a lot of people come to these movies for, and I felt that even that was a bit subpar, right?
Very
we get a couple
lackluster,
hand-to-hand combat scenes. The one on the submarine, the one with Pom Kim and TF, where she tries to kill, she tries to escape from Greg Tarzan Davis and Shea Wiggum's characters from Briggs and Degas. She tries to escape, but it's actually Tom Cruise and Simon Pegg in disguise. That one, and then the one where he kills those motherfuckers who have them held captive, and we don't even see it. They show
off
it
screen.
It's just
we just see Haley Atwell
and we
wincing.
see her reaction to him killing them. When that happened, I was like, "What the fuck are we doing? What is this? Why aren't you showing me him fucking dudes up? That's what I want to see. That's what I came here to see."
Exactly.
Was it the 4th or 5th one where he uses his body weight to climb up that pole and beats the shit out of all those?
Rogue Nation.
I think it's
the 5th one of those two.
Yeah,
Rogue Nation.
Like I see what they're doing. Yeah. They're doing Mission Impossible's greatest hits across all this film, but not doing it the same way, and it's sucking the fun out of the movie for me. Not to bring up Top Gun again, but Top Gun again. It was you can do a sequel and do it as repeat as possible, but it can still be good. You know what I mean?
It can have the elements of the first one without feeling like just a replay or a highlight reel.
I was gonna say
it can pay homage, but not be the copy of it.
I was gonna say it felt incredibly jarring that throughout the entire movie they kept calling back to the old movies.
Yeah.
Shea
Yes.
Whitlam's character Briggs is actually John Voight's son from the first movie.
Phelps.
The
Phelps.
rabbit's foot from the third movie was actually the entity.
The AI.
But it wasn't a bioweapon. It was actually the AI, which is
it really feels like they're trying to do a fucking Skywalker thing with this, and where they're like everything is connected. This has happened before. It all will again.
No, not only
Battlestar
that.
Galactica.
Then-
It's fucking annoying.
Then this whole like Messiah complex thing about like
With
Ethan Hunt is the
Ethan.
Messiah, and they're like it was all
It's
predetermined.
framing.
It was all meant to be. You're the only one who can do this. And like and like at first in the last movie or like the previous movies that McQuarrie directed, like this idea had been presented before, but it wasn't like self-serious, right? It seemed kind of like self-referential, and it seemed like they were in on the joke.
Oh,
And it's like this last movie was just kind of like, no, he is the Messiah, and he is the chosen one.
The
And I was
Scientology got to
they
him, bro.
literally
Exactly, and I
say,
was just like, what the
they
fuck?
literally say
They wrote
like
the
at one
script.
point in the movie, I think there's a line where it's like, "No one can do this but you, Ethan." And it's
Literally.
said by 7 different people within the span of like 2 scenes, and I'm just like,
I think
I don't understand why
Luther-
he is the literal chosen one. And then on top of that, on top of everything
That's how
else
they
in this
wrote it.
movie,
Mhm.
it just to hit on what Luis was saying. Mission Impossible movies are not just movies, they are a fun experience.
Mhm.
This is the first one that did not revel in its cliches, its cheese, did not enjoy itself. This thing plays it 1000% straight, and it feels more like a Jason Bourne or anything else than a Mission Impossible.
Not even
which is
that.
why
A
I'm
bad
feeling much
Jason Bourne.
harsher on it.
Jason
A
Bourne
bad
is good.
Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
That one that they made where like the villain was like Facebook or some stupid shit. That one.
The Jeremy
That
Renner
very
one.
recent Jason
Jeremy
Bourne.
Renner one,
No,
yeah.
no. The one after the Renner one.
Oh,
That's
Bourne.
that's
I think
also
it's just
not
called
very good.
Bourne. It's just called
Yeah, the
Bourne.
one just called
Jeremy
Bourne.
Renner.
It feels like that. It's such a tonal neck snap. It feels like going from the first Megan movie to looking at the trailer for the second. It's fucking insane.
Not too much
Wait,
on my girl.
I mentioned something in the group chat that you had agreed with. Is that what I said? I said that this movie is not sexy and it's not that funny, and it's like that's what you expect from these movies, right? You expect good action,
Exactly.
you expect like a bit of sexiness. That doesn't necessarily mean sex scenes, but like the Rebecca Ferguson scene where she's coming out from the pool in her one piece, or Vanessa Kirby pulling that knife or that pistol from like from her thigh with that slit dress. It's like there's like this sexiness, this sex appeal to it that it's like
a sexy spy movie.
Exactly, it's a sexy spy movie, and this movie had
You get to see
none of that.
You get to see Ethan in his prime when he was 50.
This is truly
It's like the closest we get to that is Haley Atwell giving him CPR.
It's like a Midwest to Southern sexual education. This is the most abstinent fucking Mission Impossible I've ever seen.
Basically, he's a Mormon. Mission Impossible is Mormon.
It's missionary impossible. This shit is terrible.
Jesus Christ.
No, but yeah. I also want to mention,
but it's just very droll.
The use of or rather, let me rephrase, the misuse of an actor like Isai Morales too is something that stood. And we talked about this as soon as I got out of the theater. I texted y'all like, "This is my boy." I know people are gonna say, "Oh, he's only been in TV shows, whatever." I don't care. This is someone who he should be on Pedro's level by now. He looks great. He's commanding the scenes he's in, and he's working with a dog shit writing for a character. They should have changed something up between movie 1 and movie 2.
Dude, they did. His character's completely different. His character's kind of like a crazy psychopath.
He's an evil Bugs Bunny.
He seems less methodical.
He was on that galaxy gas when he put that mask on. That's what he's
Yeah, that
legitimately. Okay, that also confused me. Is it the entity like talking to you? Is it reading your mind? What the fuck is that mask?
I didn't get that either. It seemed like it was
mask.
showing him the future. Well, it's like AI is so smart it can dream up, it can conjure up all these different possible what's it called? Eventualities, all these different possibilities, right? And that's why Ethan kept reiterating. That's what the entity wants us to do. He wants you to not trust me. So you gotta trust me one last time. because the entity wants you to not trust me. You know, the entity wants you to kill me when
God,
he's talking to
doing?
Shea Wiggum's character. And it's
if this AI is as advanced as he says it is, more than likely it would have been like, dude, I planned for both. What the fuck are you talking about? You're not that important, Ethan.
mm-hmm.
I'm
No,
basically
no.
Skynet. Also, the main villain of this movie, which technically, if it decides to tie itself back to, I believe it was MI4 with that fucking bioweapon or whatever,
The third
Three.
one.
Yeah.
MI3
Mhm.
with the bioweapon, meaning that this thing is trying to retcon itself into being like some kind of overarching villain for a saga that was going on in the background of like 3 other movies,
Yeah,
and it just doesn't feel earned
that's what I'm
or
saying. It
justified
felt shoehorned
at
in.
all.
That's
And,
like
and I think it's because they had the entity in the first movie. It felt like a pretty valid threat, but still, when it's a spooky ghost in a Russian submarine, you're not really afraid of it,
but that's what I'm
right?
saying.
But I
It
guess they
seems
tried
like
to
they
elevate it,
tried.
but it didn't work.
It seems like it was supposed to be one movie, and then they ended up making it into 2. Right? They're like, okay, well, here's the
Yeah.
main points, the main action set pieces that we're gonna have in this movie. And then because of the writer's strike and how it got pushed back and stuff, they just kept adding stuff and moving things around. They're like, well, we'll just make it into 2, and it just, like I said, the ends do not justify the means. Did you guys like the action set pieces, the submarine kind of like dive to find the hard drive for the entity's source code, and then the biplane
I
stunt?
think I didn't find a single set piece in this as memorable as the one from the last one with the train where they had to climb it. I thought that was fucking
That one was
kick ass.
cool.
From Uncharted.
That was cool. Basically, yeah,
Uncharted
Uncharted,
2.
but on train tracks.
Mhm.
Uncharted train tracks, yeah. But I didn't. A lot of them kind of fell flat for me in this one. I wasn't as
Yeah.
impressed, I would say.
You know, and for a franchise that has scenes of like Tom Cruise hanging off rocks in the second one, Tom Cruise riding a bike through where there were Istanbul or whatever in the middle. No, I forgot, but there was somewhere he's going like 200 miles per hour on a motorcycle, no helmet, just straight up long hair, like
Mhm.
doing all sorts of crazy shit. The fight with Henry Cavill, the bathroom fight where he's charging his arms. There's so many different memorable moments. This film does not have a single one.
Studying the Burj
Mhm.
Khalifa, exploding the Kremlin.
The villain of this movie dies in the most head ass way possible. And I was like, that's it.
He punches him out of the plane.
Not even that.
Yeah.
He punched him and he fell backwards and like split his wig open on the freaking.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
the
it's
propeller.
like what's
Yeah,
that
whatever that
what's
shit
that
is.
one
The
movie
tail.
with
The air
Harrison
rudder.
Ford? Is it The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, where it's like, get off my plane?
Air
Was that
Force
what-
One. Yeah, it's Air Force One.
Fake
Yeah.
fan. Fake fan.
No, but I also want to say, like, look, if you look at this cast, I think this is such a waste of an incredible cast, dude.
Yo.
You have
Oh, yeah.
obviously Haley
So-
Atwell, you have
Phoenician scheme type.
S.A. Morales, we have Palm Clementieff, Holt McElhenney, Nick
Oop.
Offerman,
Mhm.
Tremel Tillman, Shea Wiggum, Charles Parnell, Angela Bassett. Shut up,
I like
bitch.
that. I like
Hannah Waddingham.
Henry
Yeah,
Oh
Cerny.
my God.
Cerny. You have like all these incredible
Louise.
actors, incredible consistent actors, and a lot of them only have 2-3 lines, dude. They're fucking
It
playing
was not.
her Secretary of Defense, her fucking
Oh my
her
God.
defense staff, and they have 3 lines throughout the entire movie, and it's just like, what are we doing, man?
I legitimately forgot
Please.
Nick I love Nick Offerman, and I genuinely forgot he was in this until you read it off, because I tuned out all of the fucking scenes when they were repeating the plot,
Fake
and
fan.
he's just in one of those. Oh my God.
He's in a couple.
Oh my God.
He's in
He's in
scenes.
several.
He's
But-
also
but
important
every scene he's
person
in-
alive.
Is he just repeats the same
Well-
shit. They say the whole movie.
Also, something that kind of bugged me about the plot was why were they saying that she had to sacrifice the American city and attack all these cities if she could just tell them to shut it
they
off?
said as a gesture.
Yeah. But then ultimately she's like, actually just shut off our electrical grid so that all of our missiles aren't active.
Because
Why don't you just
And
do that from the
also-
beginning?
walk
Also-
Because then she can't
Because-
nuke everyone
Hold on.
else.
because then the
Oh,
mission
you're right.
would be impossible. Then it would be a mission
But-
impossible.
Mission
Wouldn't
kind
those
of
run
possible.
Wouldn't those run on a separate system, like a separate grid? I feel like, I don't know, I might be overthinking it. Who might overthink this? It's the entity. It's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, bro. It's
Why
AI,
am I thinking
bro.
this? Let me not apply logic. Don't think about this movie. Just like I won't think when I rate this movie what it deserves.
What
Do
I
you guys
would
have
have
any more
done,
thoughts?
This is really
what I
fighting
would have
shit
done
GPT the whole
is
time.
if I
I
had,
don't got no positive thoughts, bro. I didn't
do,
like this.
I do appreciate the critique on AI and how there's danger and how we need to be
Yeah.
careful with the use of AI. That's something they could have ran with in a certain way. And
Nah,
what
bro,
I
they
would have
used
done
AI to write
would
this
have
movie.
I would
It
have
does
kept
feel
the
like that at
entity
some points.
I would have kept the entity as a smokescreen. I would have had Isai Morales be this like he knows Hunt's all his people. He's got the drop on him at all times, and he's like having Hunt chase this entity across the world while he's actually doing heinous shit and about to do some like serious villain activity. You know what I mean? Do not make
Mm.
this where he's just a servant of this computer. No, have him be the main bad guy for
He did
real.
do villain shit. He killed Ving Rhames.
Oh
Well,
no,
yeah, the one
I
villain
found that
shit
scene
out of
kind
the
of funny.
entire fucking movie.
I found that scene kind of funny because like like the plan to kill him is kind of convoluted. It just makes me laugh a little bit because I'm like, why was your plan to go to the place, stab the nurse in the neck, and have him be like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna come out here. He's gonna go to this area."
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It felt like a fucking Tom and Jerry thing where he's like rubbing his little hands together. It's like, yes, don't fall for the giant red X on the ground and the giant piece of cheese and there's a mousetrap. Yeah,
Also,
it felt cartoonish.
something about this movie that I think is prevalent in all of them, but I think because I enjoyed this one less than I did the others, it really bugged me and stuck out
Yeah.
to me. Like Ethan Hunt's superpower is that he's super fucking lucky. Shit just works out.
He's
know,
like
shit
the
that
Nathan Drake of this
So-
universe.
exactly.
He should have
Yeah, it's very
died.
Nathan
He should have
Drake.
The fact
died
that he
in that
survived,
dive.
Yes,
the fact that he survived that
that's exactly
submarine,
what he-
that he was 500 feet under the water, came up and survived without a suit, and Haley Atwell and that Inuit woman just found him
that
just because
that
the
Well,
fucking
that one
Well,
I'll
it
give
said
him
in
that
the
one because
script that they had to
it was
find him.
the
I'll give him
moment
that
that
one.
the
Hold on, I'll give him that one because of the tracker. That
I
one I'll give him.
know, but it's just kind of like
Everything
that's,
else,
but just kind of like everything else that happens is just kind of like ridiculous,
it
you know?
feels
him
fucking
jumping off the
stupid.
osprey into the water,
Mhm.
into the water, and then they just happen to have
Them
this-
finding him
He
exactly.
would
They
have
just happened to be
died.
coming up at that time.
He should have died.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are.
I-
You're not treading water in the middle of the
The
fucking-
moment
have
the
no-
moment that I saw him floating to the top and then it started flipping the perspective like he's falling from the heavens, I audibly said, I swear to God. And then it happened, but I was just
Not
like,
very,
I don't
not
care.
very subtle, bro.
I
It's not
don't
subtle.
care anymore, bro. It's movies, it's ham-fisted, it's inconsistent.
Also, they killed
I
off one of the only black people in the movie.
They also did
think
kill
about
off
that.
my boy Luther, who
Think
should
about
have
that.
deserved better. Which, by the way, it is very funny watching Gabriel spend 5 minutes tying that lock. I did feel like that shot went on way too long because he's just going like, "Yeah, fucking, I'm tying the shit out of this knot
And then he
right now, and
breaks
you're
it.
gonna get it." It's just so funny. It was so odd to me.
Any more thoughts,
But
guys?
all in all,
Before we
I don't like this. I don't like this
before we
movie.
give our ratings, I want to give everyone one chance to pick to officially pick their favorite Mission Impossible,
Easy.
and then we'll give your rating for this one.
Too
So
easy.
list off your favorite, then list your rating for.
Y'all got any more final thoughts on it?
I'm glad it's
Did
over.
it. I'm glad it's over. Yeah.
I got one. Tom Cruise, I love you. I'm glad you're gonna start making real movies
I'm gonna
again.
start acting again.
I'm glad. I'm glad
It's
that
just-
I'm glad that
I'm-
you've seen this through this little pet project of
Yeah.
yours, and I'm glad that you realize that you deserve better, and that we deserve better, and that you're gonna be back. You're gonna be back in your who Christopher McQuarrie is writing and directing, by the way, Matt.
No. Let me do this, please. Tom,
Just letting you know. So
Just
if you didn't like
please.
this movie, they're about to ruin your beloved Top Gun
No.
franchise.
Bring back
Yeah.
Brad Bird, dude.
I can work on 2 scripts at the same. I'm already working on Blade right now. I can do Top Gun 3.
You can doctor
Definitely do
the Top Gun 3 script while working on the Blade script.
Make a Jerry
Good.
Maguire sequel. I don't care at this point.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Part 2, 2
But
days.
yeah, I'll go first. I'll say that my
Go for it.
favorite Mission Impossible movie, because I have the fondest memories of, is Mission Impossible 3.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Hey,
And
arguably the turning point of the franchise.
and I will
In a
give
good
this
way.
movie I'll give this movie a 7, and that's being generous.
Valid. Gerardo, I know what you need to say.
Yeah, my favorite's Fallout, man.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Cavill, you're a piece of shit. You're going to hell, but you're really good in that fucking movie. You're a great villain. That's incredible stunt work. This movie's like a 6 out of 10. It's not very good, but it's still better than the last one. So
Agreed.
I can't hate.
All right, AZ, what you got?
I'd say my favorite is probably just the first Mission Impossible because rewatching it recently, looking at it and just all of its cheese that it revels in while being the cliche and also setting the precedent for cliches, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a marvelous cinema. I don't think can be replicated like true lightning in a bottle shit. That being said, this feels like dying. I'm sad that it's happening, but I'm glad that it's over and I'm no longer in pain. So I'm gonna say this shit is like out of 5. Give it like a 2.5. Out of 10, it's a 5. Out of 10, it's a 5, dude. I'm grading it not only as a movie, but as also as a Mission Impossible. I did not find this enjoyable to watch. Around like I want to say an hour 10, I started conking out.
Jesus Christ. It is long.
It is long. It feels very tedious, and it is not to the standard the other movies.
My girlfriend
have
literally looked at me, turned at me during the movie. She was like, "God damn, we still have an hour and a half left."
Legitimately, when he was
And I
at
was
the
like,
submarine, and I still realized we have
at the
nearly an hour,
submarine,
I was losing it. I was incensed, dude.
Bro, I time my movies every time I go because it's 20 minutes of trailers before the screen actually starts, and then a movie like this is going to be another like 5 minutes of Tom Cruise or a director or somebody talking. So you're sitting at around 3 hours worth of cinema time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to go. It's got to keep me active. I need that. So, but as far as my favorite Mission Impossible, damn, it's somewhere between. It's probably 6. I was gonna say 5, but I think 6 is 6 rewrote my brain stem, bro. It did something to me. They should have ended right there. That would have been a perfect finale. Him looking out at the sunset or sunrise or whatever it was would have been a great ending. Been like, hey, this is Ethan Hunt.
Agreed.
Send him off.
And Ilsa, my queen, would have got to live.
Exactly.
R.I.P. Queen.
But of course, they ran
Before
into the same. What's it called? The like I said, the Fast and Furious problem. They didn't know where to stop. They didn't know when to stop, so they kept going. Luckily, they didn't do like a Fast and Furious movie and fuck it all the way up. But anyways, and then for my rating, I think I'm giving this a 7.5 max, and only because I know this is like a grand send off for Ethan Hunt as a character.
Is it?
This is wrapping it up, or is it?
Please, God, please be.
Glenn
Please, I
Powell.
can't do this.
Get ready,
Glenn
brother.
Powell.
Lewis Pullman, get ready, brother. Do I have the job for you?
I watch Glenn Powell be Ethan Hunt.
I watch Lewis Pullman be Ethan Hunt. I watch Lewis Pullman do anything. That's my goat now.
Who's that guy from SNL that played MacGruber?
Will Forte?
Will Forte.
Yeah,
make him
You want
Ethan
Will
Hunt.
Forte?
Yeah. Make it like Naked Gun. Make it like Naked Gun, but comedy.
Oh
There's a
my
MacGruber
God, I would
movie.
actually love that. There is a MacGruber movie, isn't there? I gotta watch that.
Yep.
That sounds fun. That sounds
Luis, you're
fun.
about to-
Unlike
Luis, you're about to say
you know,
something.
Huh?
Yeah, you
Luis,
had
you're
something
about
to
to
say.
something before.
I was just gonna say something horny, something about us picking our favorite Mission Impossible girl, since we're sending this franchise off.
Ethan Hunt.
Simon Pegg pre hair implants.
Luther.
Vin Rhames in his prime.
Vanessa, it's gotta be Vanessa Kirby.
Mustache Ving, my goat.
Vanessa
If
Kirby.
you know, you know. If you seen Baby Boy, you know.
Speaking of baby boys,
but I want to.
no.
Chat,
But I think legitimately though, all in all, we can say that this movie was, they tried to do something a little bit different. They tried to do a little test, a little experiment, and it was kind of a bad one. Speaking of bad experiments, Lilo and Stitch.
Shut up, bitch. Kill him. You guys can exit out of the video right now.
Oh
I
my
gave you
god!
permission.
Come
I gave
on!
you permission because of
Come
that.
on! Come on! Come on!
Matt, change the picture.
Oh, that's pretty good. Matt, change the picture. We're talking about Lilo
Come
and
on, we're
Stitch.
talking about
Goddamn!
Lilo and Stitch now, bro.
Stop bullying me. We're talking about Lilo and Stitch. It's a movie that no one expected to be good, and look at it. It's inoffensively mediocre. Tom Cruise is
Speaking
still
of
on the screen, but I'm
bullying,
just gonna start talking about.
speaking of
Are you?
bullying, let's talk about how this little islander girl was bullied by the white woman and the white girl in the island. No, I don't even know what I'm doing. There's no way to transition to this.
The white girl. Are you talking about her sister who they painted brown?
Oh, we're talking about Myrtle. I ain't forget. Why ain't Lilo beat up Myrtle like she did in the cartoon?
Look,
Anyways,
all I'm saying is for this Mission Impossible they jumped the shark. Speaking of jumping the shark, Lilo and Stitch. I don't know.
No,
Good Lord, why do y'all keep trying to transition?
Let's just
We're
see.
already
We're
talking
already
about
on
it.
it.
AZ,
We're already
We're
on
there
it.
are
it's not
620.
not
mute
worth it.
yourself.
You cannot be. There are 626 experiments, and you have failed each one, brother. Stop this.
Oh my god. I don't know, man.
Mute your
I do
shit.
this. I do this. Speaking of doing this, Disney actually did this and made a live action Lilo and Stitch.
Made a lot of money.
Best one.
It didn't
We
crash
finally
and
got
burn.
it. This actually
Good
beat
effort, guys.
Mission Impossible at the box office, which I can't even
No one is
fathom.
surprised.
I expected, because here's the thing: it's big Disney. Lilo and Stitch is a very recognizable
It's made
IP.
187.
Like
Right,
you go anywhere, you say Stitch, they're gonna know what you're talking about. The little blue little demon, the little adorable demon. Also, it's not hard to recognize.
Jesus
Lilo and
Christ!
Stitch.
It's
There's
made
only
almost.
one.
It's made almost.
How much has it made?
Made
$400
$1
million.
billion.
400 million.
I thought you were about to say billion. I was like,
Worldwide.
there's no fucking shit.
400 million worldwide.
I wish I was
How
a
long has it
movie
been out?
so I could make
It's been out like
$400
what, like a
billion.
couple days, like 2 or 3?
It came out on the 23rd.
They came out on the
23rd?
same
It's
thing.
been out about 5 days, about a week.
Mind you, I can own up that I was wrong. I said that Lilo and Stitch opening up against Mission Impossible was a mistake. It was a mistake, but
You're
for
wrong.
Mission Impossible.
Boy, were you wrong, brother. Boy, were you wrong.
We underestimated children and very sad people who are in their 20s and want to remember what it was like to smile. We really
They're in their
underestimated
30s.
that
General
crowd.
audiences. Because if you think about it too, guys, like think about it. One Lilo and Stitch is a very isolated film. It's one film. You watch it, you go on. Of course, there's the 2 and 3 animated ones, but whatever.
And
But
an
series,
entire
there's a
animated
show.
series of
You have
626
to watch.
episodes.
For Mission Impossible, you have to watch 6-7 movies. The average human being right now does not have the attention span to watch 6 other movies or 7 other movies before going into this main one. They don't. They don't know ball like that. They're not really. They don't love the game.
Also, there's no need. There's no need to watch the movies because the fucking first 30 minutes of the movie explains what happened.
And
then it comes back another 45 minutes later. Yeah.
But Lilo and Stitch, bro, there's no real need to rehash the story because they kind of do that in this film. But there are some changes that they do make to the
But Matt,
storyline, and
what if they don't know what the story is about? You got to tell the people, what's this one about? This is a different Lilo and Stitch. Come on, Matt, break it down for the people, man. Break it down. Let them know, man.
Let them know,
Let them know
man.
the things, man.
Hey, let them know the things, bro. Let them know the story, bro.
I don't know why I got British for a second.
So,
recap it, man.
Boom, aliens. Boom, Earth. Boom. Little girl finds the alien.
The Hawaiian girl.
Boom. She has no friends. Now she do have friends. Boom. Her sister's trying to figure out life. The American struggle. She on the island trying to pay bills. Can't do it. She about to lose her sister and lose guardianship. Boom. This is where the story changes because now we got all types of shit going different. But basically, it's the same story up until Jumba and Pleakley getting to Earth. That's where things start to get a little different. That's where things start to get a little different. Because the movie,
go for it.
In the animated movie, the main villain is Captain Gantu, my big ass shark dude.
Mm-hmm.
He comes to Earth.
Actually, it's Dr. Hamsterville, but yes. Gantu does function as the
Shut
antagonist.
the
I'm
fuck
cartoon
up.
brained,
Shut
What?
the
as you may or may
fuck
not know.
up, bitch.
Shut the
What?
fuck up.
Shut up, fucking nerd.
Shut up,
bro.
bitch.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
The comments were going to tell us.
I was gonna
decided
say, I think that would be a good place to start off. I didn't watch this movie, but I think it's important to.
You didn't miss much.
I think it's
Me
important
either.
to talk about what the differences are between the animated film and the live action film, and if they work, if they're successful, and what you guys thought of those changes.
3 of the biggest ones. No Captain Gantu. Lilo is given up at the end of the movie, and Jumba's the main villain, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Anyways,
I
y'all
think
share y'all thoughts because I'm gonna tear this one up.
the what the baffling reason as to why like she's given up so that Nani can go off to the States to be a marine biologist. But ideally, if you're going to be a marine biologist, you would want to pick a place with an abundance of ocean. Like the island you fucking reside on. What do you fucking
Mind
why are
you,
you going to mainland America to learn marine biology?
But
You're in
but
Hawaii.
if they don't do, but
Easy.
how do they
Let
do
me
propaganda
tell you
about giving up your native children to the state if she stays there? It doesn't make sense, Az. Not in this political
Easy.
climate.
Let me tell
But
you, bro.
but
But
Another
also
little
if
tidbit.
she's a native of Hawaii, she'll get a grant for going to college.
Exactly.
It's even cheaper. Why the fuck is she?
Why she go to University of
Because
California,
she's
San
white, bro.
Diego?
That's not a native woman, bro. They painted her for this movie.
University of California, San Diego, where the cost of living is gonna cost her more than fucking anything.
I don't know. It's
More than her
Hawaii's
yearly
pretty
rent.
expensive, no?
Yeah, but she's an islander, but she's gonna get that grant. They don't give me a grant for being in Texas. They said, fuck me. Greg Abbott's trying to boot me out right now.
Your echo's on, or somebody's echoes on.
I hear it.
I don't think it's me.
Why do you
I
think
think it might have been me
why-
for a second. That's
why
why.
did they make Jumba the villain?
Because they didn't want to portray
you know,
space cops in a
CG.
bad way.
They didn't want
I
to use their
think
CGI budget for a big ass alien shark.
that I think that's got to definitely be why, because Jumba and Fleet Lee are just Zach Galifianakis and the other guy that I already forgot.
For the whole movie?
Don't disrespect Billy
The,
Magnus.
almost Billy Magnuson. Sorry,
Don't
but
disrespect
they're
my
just
booster
themselves the
goal.
whole movie,
Mm,
which leads me into just a pure sense of hatred because it feels like a large chunk of the budget was used in that opening sequence with the aliens. Now, granted, it's
that's
all
all the
CGI, so it
CGI
makes
budget
sense.
right there. That's
But
the entire
but
CGI
holy
budget.
fuck, they made it so abundantly clear. This is a Disney property movie, and yet it feels like the first Sonic movie. But unlike that, this is not as enjoyable.
It's not.
I feel like if you're going to remake something in live action or reboot it in any fashion, it has to be able to justify its own existence and be different enough creatively to where it stands on its own while also having the merit of the original. This, except for having characters with the same names, does not feel like it justifies being made at all. And the ending is such a fucking downer.
I mean,
Holy shit.
that's how all these live action Disney remakes feel. They're soulless.
Yeah.
They're unwarranted. There's no need for them. You already have the original animated films, which most are fucking masterpieces. Why the fuck
And
are
well
we
loved.
and well loved and beloved?
Why not
Exactly.
just re-release them?
Yes, exactly. Re-release them in movies, in theaters. And you'll have a lot of people show up, and it'll be a Revenge of the Sith situation where they make 25, 35, 40 million dollars simply because people love these properties so much. Why are we doing these live action remakes, especially if you don't have anything pertinent or different or important to say about whatever topic it is that you're talking about, or that you're adapting? I don't know. It's just kind of frustrating, and it seems like a money grab. And unfortunately, this movie made $400 million. They're gonna keep fucking remaking animated movies, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, they set up for a sequel in this too. In the subsequent Lilo and Stitch movies and TV show, they show the other experiments, and for a brief second, Jumbo scrolls through this little control panel, and you see whatever her name was, the pink Stitch. I forgot her name. that they gave her.
They're going to. I think her name is like is Angel. Angel. It's
Hey, thank
Angel.
you, Angel. I didn't want to
Yeah.
say like Ruby or something dumb and be wrong because I'm not wrong.
No, you're good.
But yeah, I know
How
they're
do I
setting up
remember that? That's fucking insane.
and it's unfortunate because the thing with remaking something into live action, it only works for certain movies. It only works for certain movies and certain types of movies where you're not having to deal with fantastical creatures or aliens or whatever. You know what I mean? So, and Disney, all they're seeing is dollar sign right now, and that's the issue that they've been running into the last few years. They're too focused on how can we squeeze the money out of it? How can we milk this cash cow and then move on to the next bullshit project to milk until infinity ad nauseum? It's the issue that the MCU is having. They're worried more about quantity versus quality. They should really pump the brakes on this. I don't like any of the live action Disney remakes. They're all hideous to me. Lilo and Stitch is supposed to be the least hideous one. The rest all look like shit and ass. And forgive me for saying that, but I will say it again. They look like shit and ass. This one looks like little shit. It's okay. This movie is saved by
the grading is horrible.
It is absolutely horrible. It looks soulless.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Really doesn't even look good.
Now,
little abomination
yeah,
running around there too. Abomination.
The thing is with this movie, it's shot in a way that people complain about. Luis, you remember that period where people were talking about Marvel movies and how they just look like fucking commercials?
Yeah,
Because they're not color graded or shot. Then you have real depth. That's
This
how a lot of this
Yoda
movie
hat,
feels.
too.
It feels like a CW commercial. Now there are positives. Can't think of any, but they're there certainly about this movie because I feel like we're being a little bit too harsh on it.
Lilo,
It's
the standout is Lilo. She was phenomenal.
She is great.
First
The little
of all-
girl who plays Lilo is fantastic. I will say that she's probably the best part of this
Maya
movie. You also have what is the voice actor for Stitch? He returns is the
Chris
original
Sanders.
guy.
Hey, bitch.
Chris
He's
Sanders.
one of the co-writers, bro. Blame him.
I don't know if I can blame him for this. This feels very much like studio interference because a lot of these ideas feel like what a focus group or like a bunch of studio suits would raise their little fingers and go like, "That's a good idea. Make her want to be a marine biologist." She's basically doing the equivalent of like being in the NBA and wanting to be a basketball player. So she gets drafted to like the Philadelphia Eagles. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Are their
It
parents?
doesn't make any fucking sense.
The Eagles are a football team.
That's what he's saying. It doesn't make
Exactly.
sense, Matthew.
Exactly. Why would how are you going to play basketball at a football focused area? You are in the fucking marine biology capital.
Are their parents dead in this
for
movie?
America?
Is that why she gives her
They're
up?
dead as hell.
They're dead as hell. What's her reasoning for giving her up at the end?
Another thing.
I guess.
Let me elaborate on that point too.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Let me elaborate on that point too. So the parents are dead in this, just like in the original. But instead of them being like, "Oh, we lost our parents," Nani goes straight up, "Our parents abandoned us. They fucking died. They didn't choose that."
That's her dealing with the trauma.
Yeah, whatever.
That's it up a fucking title, Luis. It's terrible.
With that in mind, that's part of her reasoning for giving Lilo up to the state. I know they with
she's
her neighbor.
She's saying our parents abandoned us, so I'm gonna also abandon you.
She wants to give her a better opportunity.
And also there's this whole through line, like whenever the social worker gets there in the first few minutes of the movie, who isn't Cobra Bubbles.
It's Nani. It's Nani in the original. It's the voice actress for Nani in the original movie.
Miss Kekoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I was like, all right, that's a change, but. She says multiple times, she's like, in different forms at least, like, no, Nani, you're still a kid yourself, you know? You gotta find out what you want to do in life. Blah, 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 blah. Basically planting the seeds for, like, some kind of message. But when that message is, like, actual through line of text is abandon your family to follow your dreams. Fucking mental. Like,
which isn't necessarily a bad message, but when it involves abandoning your little baby sister who's what, like, 5 years old or 4 years old or whatever.
She's maybe like a year into understanding the concept of mortality and death. She's had object permanence for maybe like 2 or 3 years,
2 months.
and you're abandoning her. What the fuck is wrong with you? what is actually wrong with you? And also, I don't mean to toss any flack on Zach Galifianakis because I
I
don't
do.
necessarily
I
hate
do.
him.
I
I don't
do.
necessarily hate him. I
Is
like
it
him in
time for me
certain
to
things.
like him again?
Um,
I'm about to
I
just
hate how
this
he
is
fell
not.
off.
I think the last time I saw him as a voice actor was in Lego Batman, and I loved him as a Joker. I thought that was fun.
I think
But
those movies
in
are for
this,
children, so I don't watch it.
in this, well, shut up.
Real, real.
But but in this, hearing Jumbo without his like Slavic accent, and also seeing him as just the human Zach Galifianakis and the human Pleatley, and Pleatley doesn't dress in drag really. They're not a queer icon anymore. Damn near erasure. Like
Conservatives
what the
would
fuck is
would
this?
freak out, man. Are you kidding me?
because
There's
Disney is
already
playing
child
Disney
abandonment
is
in a
playing it
single
very
parent.
safe.
But she's
That's their
They're already
prerogative.
indigenous. She's indigenous, so it's
and
okay.
indigenous, and she's
Disney is
employed.
playing it
Bro, they're
safe.
already rioting.
That's exactly what it is. They're playing it safe. They want to make sure they don't offend any of their other viewership, because then you know how easy it is for them to trash something without even seeing it. Y'all put
Oh,
that there homophobic homosexual shit in my movie. You're trying to indoctrinate my kids. I don't want to see that, and they're gonna start bashing the
they're
movie before they even see it. They're too
Mm-hmm.
fucking
also
too dumb to think on their own. They got their
now
orange goon to tell them what to do. Like,
You talking about Lilo's sister?
this is a orange. Yeah.
young
Nani,
She
orange.
Nani.
she she does look like they rolled her in Cheeto dust. That looks like a lot of like spray tan. I don't think that's actually
It looks really
real
bad in that
shit.
picture that Matt has pulled
In
up.
Yeah,
that picture specifically,
That's a
it
bad
looks
shot.
odd.
My
But
apologies.
it's because she's in the sun.
apologies if any of these jokes are very offensive. However, they were all
To
written by
who?
Luis.
Jokes,
So
jokes.
anyway,
They were written to me. Hit me up in my DMs and tell me how you hate them.
but I think just maybe I think okay, this is I'm not trying to justify the ending of this movie because, like I said, it is
Then
heart
don't.
wrenching. But maybe
It's
I'm trying to get in the
unfortunate.
mind of the suit who signed off on that idea. Maybe their thought process was like, okay, the original movie was made in like 2000, 2003, and that was when the housing market was pretty okay. You could have one job and kind of do a little bit mediocre for yourself, but no one would believe that a 20-something in this economy could support herself and a child and have a house. No,
People
thank
do
you.
it
We better
every
make her
day.
abandon the child because girl boss. Like I don't know. I don't. I that's the only thing I can really think of. But
So you
why go
think
for
feminism is
realism
the
when the
problem?
plot?
Oh,
No, no. It's just women,
That's what it sounds like.
specifically.
I hate it. I hate it. Stop.
oh
I don't
my
like this bit.
God.
No,
I don't like
no,
this
but
bit.
legitimately,
Didn't like that. Chat,
love women.
maybe
thumbs
love
that
women.
I think
down.
maybe they were trying to like modernize it and try to give it some kind of grounded nature with that aspect of like maybe realistically somebody wouldn't be prepared for this situation if it was suddenly thrust to bottom. But at the same time, three of the main people in your movie are fucking aliens, dude.
Dude,
Realism went out the window. I don't
what is
care
what is
anymore.
what does Ohana mean?
It
Family.
means
Family and
letting. It
And
family
means. It
family
means
means
doesn't get
no
left
one,
behind, dog.
but it
Don't
comes with an
forget.
asterisk, which says
unless
unless
you're a
your
little
parents are
indigenous
dead and
girl.
you want to go study fish.
Unless you, what you
You
can't
know
do
what
They
is
want to
movie?
look at fish,
pollination.
look outside. Like,
You know what movie
why
does
are you
family
leaving
real
your
good? As much as I trash on it, Fast and Furious does family really good.
That's
They
They
the
do
be
thing
family
capping
the
about
best.
everybody.
it fights
They be
back.
like, oh, you killed three people. Guess what? We fuck with your vibes. You're part of the family now. You're
Well,
Would
kind
you
of
speaking of
guys?
vibes, what
Would
are
you
we
rate this
rating this piece
movie?
of shit?
What are you
He
rating
looks so
this?
cute in
It's
this
like
shot.
She
like a
goes,
two.
"Oh, that's so
It's
cute."
like a 2 stitches out of 5 bumbas.
2 stitches out of 5 bumbas.
Vibe troubles.
Okay, nice. Matt,
I gave it. I gave it a very generous 3 when I rated it
Out of what?
initially, because it was like
out
out
of
of like
five, out of 5
5
jumbos.
Okay.
out of 5 jumbos, and
Uh,
it was only because
Bunjas.
like they did still try and keep the heartwarming aspects. Little Lilo, she was phenomenal. I can't knock the film
She is
for her
super
on
cute.
her.
Yeah,
She
that's
was
not her fault.
adorable. This picture right here, I was like, damn, this is cute. Even though that's a little CGI
He looks
Gollum.
cute too. Stitch looks adorable
just-
too.
It's just a fully grown man in a green morph suit just staring at
That's
That's
weird. Stop. Don't say
That's
that.
no. That's Sean
That's
Gunn.
hilarious.
That's who?
It's Sean
Sean
Gunn.
Gunn.
It's Sean Gunn in a ping pong suit.
No,
In
because
the
James,
He's like this.
James-
He's like this.
James isn't anywhere near this movie, so he would never be
He's
cast.
still got it.
No, James is taking him for a walk.
Yeah, James has got him
What was
under
your-
contract. He said you can
Izzy,
only
what
work
was
my
your
films,
rating?
bitch. Oh yeah,
Izzy, what was your rating?
I give this I give it two 17-inch football subs out of 5 Rubens.
Y'all fucking hated this movie. God damn.
No,
I-
Izzy,
those
I got
two
that.
stars-
I got that. Izzy,
Those
I
two
caught
stars
that.
are pure
This is
are
it.
you caught that? You caught
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Ball knower.
It's too fun.
Dude,
I get
listen.
it.
Lilo
I
and
got
Stitch
it.
is
He knows what
Lilo
sandwiches
and
are. Okay,
lit,
bitch. Fuck you.
lit,
I
fuck off.
understood it too. Understood it.
But it's because Lilo and Stitch is my second favorite Disney movie of all time. The first being Emperor's New Groove, which if they remake that, I won't even fucking watch it.
They
But
better not.
You want to see nanotech llamas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but hire
I'll
brown
kill
people. It's
myself.
not gonna happen.
Don't ever
Nanotech
say those.
llamas.
That's a Fortnite skin, Jesus Christ. But no, this movie, the only saving graces I can give it really are the opening. I think kicks ass. It is very much like almost shot for shot the first one. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. So I like that opening sequence a lot.
Seals the red one.
And the little girl who plays Lilo is delightful. I find her delightful. So those are the only 2 saving graces out of the 5 sandwiches this movie deserves. I don't want to praise this shit, dude. But you know what I will praise? This amazing episode of the Cinestro Core, because that shit
Nice.
was fantastic.
That was a really good.
Go ahead and
was really
do us
good.
a favor. If you want to know more about things and stuff relating to Hollywood, go ahead and follow Backstage OL. Because let's face it, we're good, but they're much better. They're more and more gooder than us. They have all the behind the scenes interviews, all the latest hot Hollywood goss for all the latest films coming out and interviews with stars. They recently got to talk to a couple of highly regarded people in the Mission Impossible world. So, you should look out for that. Follow them. Our boy David's over there. So tell them we sent you. They won't know who we are, but you
David
will
will.
know who I am when you follow me at my sites at Tari Singo. There's going to eventually be content there. Eventually. I promise you. I am moving currently.
Did his power go out?
Oh,
Yeah, he just died.
anyways.
I'm gonna have to follow.
Yeah, follow all
Follow
this
Izzy
shit.
on Tari Singo.
Follow all the stuff at the
donate.
bottom of the ticker.
Donate to our
TikTok.
Patreon so we can get AZ moved to stable
Seeing
power.
stable internet connection.
Just follow him on Twitch at twitch.tv/Tari Singo. Like he said, content coming soon. He's gonna be streaming. He's gonna be gaming. He's gonna be talking about some other fun comic bullshit.
Gay.
And of course, follow us at Sinestro Corp. No S. It is now illegal to have the S on Sinestro Corp.
In Trump's
Because-
America, thanks, Trump.
It's been banned, been copyright. I'm gonna protest that, and we're gonna get it back eventually. But until next time, guys, stay awesome. Eat your Wheaties, brush your teeth, because some of y'all, yeah.